everybody, it's Yoko Betta back with another video, and I'm back with another author spotlight, and this week it is on I Thought You Loved Me by Screww You. This is the book right here, and this is a short book. It's about 96 pages, and Screww You herself, she reached out to me and she wanted me to review her book on my channel, so this is what I'm doing. This is such a cute picture. I don't know who this is a picture of, but this girl is beautiful. Like, oh my god, I love the way her hair looks. Her makeup is cute. Baby hairs is laid for the gods. She got the cute little sunflowers in her hair, really cute. If after watching this book review you're interested in picking up Screww You's books, all her information will be down in the description box and somewhere here on the screen. You can pick up this book, and you also could pick up part 2, What is Love. This is volume 2 to this book. So this is like a short novel, and then there's a continuation to it, and there's like some backstory also in this book as well. So you can pick up both of these books and it'll be linked down below. Before we get into this video, if you're not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing? We're on our road to 1,000 subscribers and I need you to subscribe. So hit that subscription button down below, and also don't forget to hit that little bell so you'll always be notified every time I upload. With all that being said, let's get into the video. So the main character of this book is Kiana, and Kiana is a woman that owns her own security business, and her girlfriend are so excited because she finally got her first big client to book her for security services. So Kiana and her girlfriend Autumn are very excited about this big client. So the name of the client is Mayline Jones, and she booked Kiana's security service to, you know, work her event for her 10-year anniversary. So like I said, Kiana and Autumn are ecstatic, but you know, there's always a hater in the midst. Now Kiana has this longtime friend named Leah. Her and Kiana have been friends since they were 13, and they kind of depended on each other because when she was 16 her world kind of changed because her grandmother was evicted from their apartment and had to go into a nursing home, and Leah kind of had to fend for herself. So her and Kiana became even closer. You could kind of call them like sisters, and Leah depended on Kiana because she really didn't have anybody after her grandmother was put in a nursing home. Leah used the money that her ex-boyfriend left her after he went to prison to help Kiana start up her security business. So they always kind of depended on each other, but secretly Leah has always been in love with Kiana, and Kiana kind of didn't know, but as you keep reading the book you kind of found out that Kiana had a little inkling that Leah may be in love with her, but she met Autumn, and Autumn is really the love of her life. Now Leah knows that Kiana would never leave Autumn because they are in love, but this kind of grinds Leah's gears because she's like, why aren't you in love with me? Like, we've been through so many things together and I should be the one that you're in love with because I've always been here for you. I'm your backbone, so she thinks, and you should be in love with me. But of course Kiana is going to be closer with Autumn because that's her girlfriend, and her and Leah are going to grow apart because she has other things to do. Most of her spare time is spent with her girlfriend and running her business. Leah kind of couldn't wrap her mind around that, honestly, and I was wondering why she was so caught up on Kiana until I read further in the book, and then we do find out. Now I believe that Leah is so dependent on Kiana is because she's always been there in her life, and she's been through all the past traumas that Leah has been through, so she just cannot let go of this girl, and she doesn't want Kiana to be close with anybody else but her. It's like a attachment kind of issue, I guess you could say, or attachment thing, whereas, like, you know, somebody that's been with you through all these traumas, you don't really want them to give their attention to anybody else but you. Kiana is definitely the last person that Leah has in her life. She really doesn't have anybody else. In this book, Screww You really doesn't get into too depth of what happened to Kiana's family. I mean, she talks a little bit about her grandmother, but I don't know much about her mom, her dad. Does she have any siblings? Does she have anybody else? I'm pretty sure in the next book that she will talk about that, but in this book she doesn't really go into depth. It's only about Kiana and then Kiana's girlfriend Autumn, and a little bit about Leah's grandma and a guy that Leah was dealing with too, but we'll get into that in a minute. Now Leah works for Kiana's security business, which I feel like sometimes you could work with friends, but most of the time you cannot. Just like they say don't mix family and business together, also don't mix friends and business together. So Leah works for Kiana's security company as like a receptionist or like an assistant. She handles a little bit of the ins and outs of the company. So every time Kiana and Autumn come around, Leah has a very nasty attitude towards Autumn because she's jealous of her. She wants to be with Kiana. She wants her spot. She's like, why am I not the queen bee in Kiana's life? And Clearly, Kiana doesn't like you that way. She likes you as a friend. Like, you guys are very close. You guys are like sisters. But Leah is not trying to hear that. She's like, girl, you mine. And if I can't have you, can't nobody else have you, basically. So Kiana over time is noticing Leah's very bad attitude. You know, she's not doing her job and not taking it seriously. Plus she has a little snippy attitude with her and Autumn, and it's like, girl, this is too much. Like, you gotta go. Something has to give. Kiana also wishes that Autumn and Leah had a better relationship off the strength of her, but personally, it's not gonna happen. And really not so much from Autumn's side, but definitely from Leah's side. Like I said before, Leah is not having, she does not want to be friends with this girl. She envies her. It's like the green-eyed monster. She wants to be Autumn. She wants to replace Autumn, and if she can't replace Autumn, then all bets are off. Autumn even admitted to Kiana that she feels as though that Leah has a thing for her, and it's like obvious, but Kiana's like, no, it's nothing like that. This is my best friend. Look at my face. Leah takes it far that since she's mad at Kiana and Autumn, that she's not going to answer very important emails and business calls about security services for Kiana's business. So of course Kiana gets very upset with her and tells her, like, you're suspended for a few days because you're not taking your job seriously and it's jeopardizing my business. Leah does not like that at all. Leah is very, very upset and offended that Kiana would email her and tell her that she's suspended instead of telling her to her face. I feel like also Leah kind of uses as an excuse to go off on Kiana and Autumn. So instead of her emailing Kiana back, she goes over to their house. Autumn opens the door and all hell breaks loose. Leah attacks Autumn. They start fighting and it gets crazy. Leah is like a wild, like, rabid dog attacking Autumn, beating her up. She like she tases her. Actually, she tases her. She bites her face. Okay, if anybody, like, I know fighting ain't no rules in fighting, but for you to go crazy by tasering somebody and then biting them in the face, something is really wrong with you. And Leah is a freaking psycho. Like, she's a psycho. So they have this big fight. She tases her. Kiana runs in and tries to break them up. She beats up Leah herself. She like stomps her out. Leah had like a fractured jaw and everything. In my opinion, Leah deserved that shit because she was doing too much. Okay, like doing way too much by attacking Autumn like that. Like, it wasn't that deep. So Leah is very injured that she had to go to the hospital because of her fractured jaw. And you would think, like, after the fight she would want to lay low and, you know, she's all hurt up. No, Leah is out for blood, literally. Like, she wants to hurt Autumn. She wants to hurt Kiana because Kiana was defending Autumn, and it's like, why are you defending her? Why are you not defending me? And we're best friends. Like I said, Leah has this attachment issue with Kiana. Like, girl, get off the titty. Like, get off of her. She doesn't like you in that type of way. And Leah just cannot wrap her mind around that. Now I want to rewind a little bit. So right before Leah went over to Kiana at Autumn's house, she meets this guy named David. David is like a small time hustler. Leah really doesn't know much about him until, you know, they become a little more acquainted with each other, but they meet in the gas station. As the story moves on, we do find out that Kiana and Leah had some kind of sexual relationship in the past. Of course they did, because why would Leah be acting like this if her and Kiana did not have a sexual relationship? When you have sex with each other, those sex demons, they definitely do exist and they stick on you. And I feel like Kiana should not have had sex with Leah if she considered that her best friend. They should have left that alone and kept it very platonic between each other. So now, since Kiana and Leah did have sex, it's like Leah cannot let go, and she's upset with Kiana because she feels as though once she met Autumn, she forgot everything that had happened between them two. And I have like a teensy bit of sympathy for Leah in that regard, but other than that, I don't see it for her. I don't see it for sis at all. Like, something's wrong with her. She belongs in a mental institution. And you guys are probably like, oh well, just that little fight that they had that makes you think that she's crazy. It gets worse. After we find out that Leah and Kiana had a sexual relationship, we also find out that Leah suffers from borderline personality disorder. She was diagnosed when she was 16, and Kiana is the only one that knows about this. So now this explains everything about what's going on with Leah. Something is not right. And I don't mean to make fun of mental health or anything like that, but seriously, something is wrong with this girl. And Screww You, you did such a great job kind of describing just the craziness of this girl. Like, you really made me scared of her. Like, she is really unpredictable. And as the book moves forward, like, Kiana and Autumn become very, very paranoid of this girl, because it's like she was lurking in the dark. Like, she was like a shadow. She was always popping up somewhere, always doing something, always being extra and dramatic and very dangerous and scary. Kiana definitely understands that Leah has to be the center of attention from everybody that she knows, or she will become very, very destructive. And she proves that in the book more than once. For example, Leah calls her ex-boyfriend to lose visitation with his children because she wanted to spend more time with him. What type of person does something like that? That is like, that's so down and dirty and deceitful and hurtful for you to do to someone that you so-called care about because they're not spending enough time with you. These are his children. His children will always come before you. But Leah clearly didn't like that, or didn't understand that, and didn't care to understand that. Every action that Leah took in this book, she believed that she was doing it because somebody else made her do this, not because something was not right with her and she needed to seek help and seek a therapist seriously. Because I don't know if the girl has voices in her head or something is happening with her where she feels as though everybody is doing something wrong to her, and her not realizing that she is the cause and effect of everything that's happening to her. Besides the mental illness thing, like, she cannot help that is something that's a part of her life, but her other steps in her life and the choices that she made all depended on her, and she always blamed somebody else. Leah never took accountability for anything that happened in this book. Now, I told you, after the fight that Leah, Autumn, and Kiana had, Leah was in the hospital with a fractured jaw, and after she was released from the hospital, she went back over to Kiana and Autumn's house to go pick up her car, but her car wasn't there. Even if the car was there, I feel like, Leah, why are you going back to this place? You should have called somebody to pick up your car or something like that. Kiana had the car towed away to her house. Leah felt as though, why is my car not here? And if my car wasn't here, you should have called me. Now, granted, Leah is right about that, but why would I call you after me and you had a physical altercation? No, I'm going to tow your car back to your house. You lucky I ain't towed the shit to the garage or something like that. I told it to where you would be able to pick it up. Leah felt like that was disrespect and that they kept disrespecting her. So she takes a big ass rock and throws it through their window. Leah, how about you grow the fuck up? Grow up. Like, you're so childish. I don't know how old these girls are now. I don't think Screww You even mentioned how old they are, but I'm pretty sure they're probably in like their early 20s to mid 20s. Probably no older than like maybe 25, I don't know. But it's like, where's your maturity at? So because your car is not here, you're gonna throw a rock through this girl's window? You could have knocked on the door. I don't know. Well, we seen how that went last time. You knocked on the door and then you and Autumn got into a fight. But still, you could have went about this totally different than what you did. So it's like, now Kiana has to put out a restraining order against you because you keep showing up at their house being destructive and being like, you're terrorizing them at this point, honestly. So after Leah runs away from their house after busting the windows, she goes home and she hits up the guy David that she met at the gas station. In my opinion, David should have ran and ran fast. Of course, he didn't know about Leah's background, but it's like, if you could stray away from this girl, please stay away from her, because she brings nothing but drama with her when she comes around. Leah sets her sights on David and she invites him over, and he kind of like babies her because, you know, of her injuries, and she tells him that she got jumped by Kiana and Autumn. Technically, I feel as though she didn't get jumped because, well, she was beating the hell out of Autumn. So if it was my girlfriend, I would have jumped her too. So maybe they did jump her, I don't know. But yeah, he's feeling bad for her. He's like, oh, you want me to handle him for you? Skirt. First of all, David, how about we pump our brakes? Okay, you just met this girl, you don't know nothing about her, you don't know why these girls jumped her, but yet you're willing to catch a body for her. Why do these niggas think with they dick? Even though he hadn't had sex with Leah at the time, but it's like he's willing to catch a body for her, for a girl that you just met like what, a couple of days ago? I don't understand. You niggas are slow. David reveals to Autumn that he sells heroin, so now Leah is very interested in him because she really wasn't interested in him and like that, but you know, she just wanted a little companionship because she felt like Kiana was tripping and Kiana would be her friend again. Why did you think Kiana was gonna be your friend again after you beat the hell out of her girlfriend? I don't know why, but this is what goes on in Leah's head throughout the whole book. She feels as though that Kiana eventually get over me beating the shit out of her girlfriend, and she will be friends again, and then we'll be together, like we'll be in a relationship together. Leah, you're delusional. You're delusional. Okay, you're delusional. But when David reveals that he's a heroin dealer, Leah is like, okay, you know, I could work with him or whatever, because heroin dealers, like, they make a little coin, okay? So she's like, I'm in it just for the money. I'm not in it because I don't like him like that. But you could tell in the book that David really is starting to like her. He's buying groceries for her house. He's coming over, sleeping over, like, every night for like 3 nights in a row. You know, he's feeling her. But Leah is just like not into him like that. But she wants to keep him around because she's a gold digger, basically. She got fired from her job, so she really doesn't have money like that anymore. So she's trying to keep him, you know, in the tuck, you know. Now Kiana didn't tell Autumn that Leah showed up at their house again and broke the window. She just told her that, you know, I got upset about the whole situation and I broke the window. And Kiana is trying to not make Autumn feel nervous and unsafe living in this house. In my opinion, after that whole situation, I would have been trying to find somewhere else to live, because the girl that showed up to your house twice, all right, there's not going to be a third time with me. I know I need to take myself out of it, but it's like, it's not going to be a third time with me, this girl. And how about we call the police? Like, after the fight, did you guys call the police on this girl? Like, she really did a number on Autumn. Why weren't the police notified? I know there's this whole stigma about not calling the police, but the girl bit your face. Like, she really, like, bruised you up. She tasered you multiple times. No, she's not walking around free in the streets at all. I'm calling somebody. If it's not the police, she getting boomed, period. Okay, period. Like, y'all let her rock too long. Then she showed up at your house again? Never. Now it's in Autumn's perspective. The whole book is like in each of the girls' perspectives. Kiana's perspective, then Autumn's perspective, and then Leah's perspective. But in Autumn's perspective, she admits like, yo, I couldn't keep up with Leah. Like, crazy people move fast, and Leah was like doing a number on her. And you know, she could have been like, oh yeah, I fucked that bitch up. She was like, nah. Like, she really like gave it to me, and I can respect that. Like, Autumn, you know you got beat up, but it's not your fault, sis, because crazy people really like do a lot. So I feel for you, sis, because you didn't deserve that. You didn't do nothing to her. She's a jealous ass bitch. So yeah, if Kiana didn't come and help you out, sis, Leah probably would have killed her. Like, that's what I think she was aiming for. She was choking the shit out of her, like, during the fight. So Kiana ain't give her that boop boop. Autumn might have been up out of here, y'all. In Autumn's head, she knows, or Leah really can't be going off on Autumn like this because Kiana suspended her. Now in Autumn's head, she's like, oh well, maybe she's mad at me because she thinks that I put Kiana up to it to suspend her, which she didn't. Kiana suspended her on her own because Leah had a bad attitude and you're messing up her business. So she's like, you know, I don't know what I did to this girl to make her attack me like this. If Kiana would have never have suspended her, she probably wouldn't have attacked her like that. But in my opinion, I feel as though Leah would have took any little thing that happened between all three of them and used it against Autumn to attack her like that. Kiana is worried about Autumn's safety now. She doesn't want Autumn in the house by herself while she's away at work or going out in the street. And Autumn is like, it's been a few days. I'm tired of being stuck up in this house. I'm gonna go about my day. I was like, well, Kiana, if you feel this way, why not take her somewhere else to go? Like, I know they didn't want to leave their house, but it's like, it's not safe here because she knows where you live. So why would you leave her in the house by herself with this? Well, the window got fixed, but why would you leave her in the house with this broken window or whatever? Put her in a hotel maybe? I don't know. Like, don't leave her in the house by herself. And I don't know if Autumn was like, maybe she didn't want to go anywhere, but it's just, it was a little weird to me. Like, I'm not going to stay in a place where I know somebody can keep coming to and keep trying to hurt me, attack me, kill me, or whatever. I'm gonna get up out of there. I'm gonna get my loved ones up out of there. There was a few more instances where Leah popped up in different places. One of those places was Kiana's office. You know, she was trying to get Kiana's attention, and Kiana was really like paying her dust. And every time she does this, it pisses off Leah even more. But for a few days, Leah was like, you know what, I'm gonna just fuck with them a little bit, but then I'm gonna leave them alone because I got other things I gotta do. During this time, David and Leah are getting very comfortable, like I told you guys. And I keep saying, like, while I was reading the book, I'm like, Leah, this nigga seemed like a killer to me. I don't know if you really want to fuck with his emotions like that, because it seems as though that he really likes you. Leah just wasn't feeling him like that. So one day David goes out of town and he tells Leah, like, you know, I'm going out of town for a little while. He breaks her off with a little bit of money, and he was like, I'll be back in a few days. Leah goes on a prowl or whatever, and she meets this guy named Jeremy. Jeremy was working in Champ's Foot Locker, and you know, she's not really giving him any play, but she's flirting just a little bit, you know, just cause. Leah thinks he's cute, but she knows that he can't afford her on his little Champ's retail salary. But come to find out, he is like a local scammer, and he got a little change. And of course, once Leah sees like the car he's driving and a little bit of change that he got, you know, she's money hungry, and she sees dollar signs. So she's like, you know, David, like, if he don't work out, I got this other little situation on the side. So she's being a little horn monster, because her and David are not like having sex with each other, but like he's spending time with her. So that's another reason why I think that David really liked her, because he wasn't trying to like fuck on her like real quick or whatever. He was trying to get to know her. But Leah is like, damn, like, you ain't even trying to break me off with a little piece of nothing, so I'm gonna go get my little piece somewhere else. She does that with Jeremy, and she brings this nigga back to her house. Number one, if this is like a little slide, a little piece, Leah, why do you keep bringing these niggas to your house where they gonna know where you live? Why the fuck do you keep doing that? Like, this is like rule number one. Don't bring nobody to your house. Do not shit where you sleep. So she brings Jeremy over to her house. They about to get into it, you know, do the 1 2 1 2. Guess who starts knocking at the motherfucking door? You got it. David comes. Leah is not paying attention to David knocking on the door. She wants some right now, and she didn't care that David was at the door. She's gonna have sex with Jeremy right then and there. So they go to the back room. They get into it. She hears a big boom. She pays it no mind because she's doing a do. She hears another boom. David is flying through the bedroom door with his gun drawn. He snatches Leah off of Jeremy and empties his fucking clip on Jeremy. He kills him. While I'm reading the book, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Like, I was reading the book and had to put the book down. Like, no, he did not just kill this guy. He did not just kill him in front of her. And I think what really also pissed him off the most, David, is that when he came in the room, Leah like looked at him and continued to have sex with Jeremy. Girl, like, you're so fucking ruthless. I don't get it. Like, who raised you? Like, clearly the streets raised her or something, but like why are you like this? Why don't you have any emotion or any empathy for anybody? Like, I don't know if that's part of her mental illness. I don't know, but like something is really wrong with this girl. So David like beats her up, you know, he spits on her. He's like, you're a trifling bitch, or whatever. And I do not feel bad for Leah, because once again, like I said, she has no compassion, no empathy, no emotions to anybody but herself. If it was any other situation, I probably would have felt bad for her. But it's like, girl, you kind of brought this on yourself. Like, you know, karma's bitch. Okay, and it hit you really hard, literally. David decides to kidnap Leah and take her somewhere, and she's just like, oh, why is he doing this to me? Why is he doing this to me? Leah, why do you keep asking why people are doing these things to you? You brought this on yourself. I don't get it. So David has her kidnapped for like a few days, but Leah escapes. And I don't know if I want to tell you guys how Leah escapes, because I really don't want to spoil that part for you, because it was good as fuck. Okay, but just know that David is exactly what I said that he was. I said that Leah shouldn't play around with him, because he seemed as though, like, you know, his steps don't go all the way up to the attic. You know, he's a few fries short of a Happy Meal too. And it's like crazy with crazy. Who's gonna out crazy the other one? Basically, Kiana's event is a few days away, and her and Autumn are getting ready for it. Autumn is healing up during this time. Her stitches are getting taken out, you know, the bruises are fading away from her, and you know, she's feeling a little better, and they just both want to have a good night without having to worry about Leah appearing. So they get to the event, and of course Leah shows up again, and she does something that was gonna make the headlines and everybody's gonna be talking about it. Like, she really wanted to ruin Kiana and Autumn's lives, basically, more so Kiana's life, by, you know, doing something to Autumn, because you know Autumn is like the main person that she loves in her life. And I really think that Leah took it too far. I'm not gonna tell you guys exactly what happened, but Leah, baby, that karma once again comes at you very fast. And from the way that this book ended, I want to know how will the story continue in the next book. I don't know if it's like a prequel to what happened in this book. Where will the story go after this? But I really enjoyed it. So you guys, that was I Thought You Loved Me by Screww You. I really enjoyed this book. I like thrillers like this. This gave me thriller. It was like a little bit of urban fiction, but it definitely gave me more of like a thriller type of book. It gave me like a like, you know, like a Fatal Attraction, Obsessed, you know, stuff like that, and stories like that, where it's like just this obsessive person that cannot leave somebody alone, and they really believe in their head that the person that they love or they like is really in love with them as well. And if that person doesn't reciprocate the love that they have, they would do anything to destroy that person. And I love stories like that, like Obsessed with Beyonce and Idris Elba, and I forgot the white lady's name. That's one of my favorite movies. So I really like appreciate a book like this where a person is just out of it or whatever. So Screww You, I think you did a great job with this book. I'm looking forward to reading the next book as well and see what happens with the characters in the book and what other situations will come out of it. Screww You's writing style was also very easy to follow. She kept me interested in the plot, and I just wanted to know the next thing that Leah was gonna do, because the girl, she always has something up her sleeve all the time. Even when you thought that she may give up, she was very determined to get what she wanted, to do what she wanted to do. Even if she knew that she wasn't gonna be with Kiana, she knew like, oh, okay, all right, you don't want to fuck with me like that. Okay, I'm gonna ruin your fucking life. That's what I'm gonna do. So you guys, if you're interested in Screww You's books, like I said, all of her information will be down in the description box, and her social medias will be down in the description box as well. If you guys want to be featured in the author spotlight, all the information is also down in the description box. You can shoot me an email. Once again, if you're not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscription box and also hit that little bell button so you'll always be notified every time I upload. If you guys like these author spotlights, please give this video a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Once again, we're on our road to 1,000. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for sticking it out with me. I know I'll be taking forever to upload videos, but you know, like I said, it takes a lot for me to do these videos, but I'm gonna pump them out for you guys because I know you guys enjoy them and I enjoy doing them. So I'm not gonna stop. With all that being said, I will talk to you guys in the next video.